In the 1988 APBA Gold Cup. IPI Sports brings you the HFC American Hydroplane Series. This third stop, the Budweiser Thunder on the Ohio APBA Gold Cup. 11 of the world's fastest race boats will be vying for the most prestigious award in powerboat racing, the APBA Gold Cup. The HFC American Hydroplane Series is sponsored by Household Finance Corporation, America's financial resource, and Budweiser Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jim Hendrick, along with Dick Crippen, on the shores of the Ohio River in Evansville, Indiana. It's Budweiser APBA Gold Cup 1988. This is the most prestigious event in the history of powerboat racing. You win this event one time, you've had a successful career. And speeds, Dick, we've seen speeds.
Oh, all week long we have. On Friday afternoon in the qualifying, a two-lap record was put into the books by the Miss Budweiser. Tommy DeEath is driving that boat at better than 145 miles an hour. Chip Hanauer in the Miller High Life came in just barely split seconds underneath that, and then the Circus went in. Circus for the first time this season topped 143 miles an hour. Now we have 4 turbine-powered boats that are going to start the first heat today, so it's kind of like a semi-final right off, and watch that first turn.
Now, hold your breath on that first turn. It's going to be a hot race, and speaking of heat, literally, we've had 105-degree temperatures down here, add 15 to 20 degrees because of the hot sun on the pavement. The drivers are going to literally cook today. They're going to have to really watch their cool. The Gold Cup, as we said starting out, is the most prestigious event in the history of powerboat racing. To win it just one time is quite an accomplishment. Chip Hanauer is looking to extend his streak to 7 straight. Other boats are out to stop him. We have past winners that are in the pits as spectators and officials today, and we ask them, what does it mean to win a Gold Cup?
Yes, I won the Gold Cup back in 1955. Probably was a highlight of my driving career. It was quite a thrill doing it in front of 600,000 people in Seattle, Washington, and taking it back to Detroit where it belonged.
The Gold Cup means an awful lot to the Miss Budweiser and myself. It's probably one of the most prestigious cups in the world today, and we have every intention of taking it home again.
1971. We won the Gold Cup in Madison, Indiana, in the hometown boat before 110,000 spectators. Biggest thrill of my life.
Well, to win the Gold Cup is obviously the dream of every boat racer in the world, and I've won one of them, and I'll tell you what, it was the most exciting day of my life. And to win 2, I think, would be even more exciting.
You can imagine what it would be like to win 6, and this is the man they're all going to be after today. The record holder in Gold Cup wins, 6 consecutive wins. Chip Hanauer is looking for number 7. A guy who will not be looking for the Gold Cup today, which incidentally would be his first ever Gold Cup, is Jim Kropfeld. Jim Hendricks joins him down in the pit area.
Say hi to Jim Kropfeld, injured in that Miami race, but he's back as a spectator. He's going to join our sports staff this weekend with some driver analogy. Jim, you're wearing what they call a halo, and it's actually cemented right to your skull, isn't it?
That's right. Around the top part that goes around my skull, there are 6 screws that they've actually torque wrenched down into my skull through the first layer of my crown, so to speak. That holds my head steady along with the 4 parts of 4 bars that you can see coming down, attached to a vest that goes around my body.
Jim, how long do you have to wear this contraption?
Well, anywhere from 2 to 4 months. At the present time, we really don't know exactly how long. I have to go in next Friday for a CAT scan to see how well I'm healing up. And from there, we can start making some decisions.
And then next year, you think you'll be back in the boat?
Well, I sure hope so, but, you know, Tommy's doing such a good job here with the Miss Budweiser, maybe I won't be able to get back in.
Well, one thing for sure, we know Jim Kropfeld will enjoy the view here on the Ohio River from Evansville, Indiana. This is a great American city in the Midwest. It's a city that has a lot of history to it and a lot of beauty to go right alongside it. The race is run beneath the 4 Freedoms Shrine, which stand high atop the banks of the Ohio River in Evansville. It honors the states, it honors the war dead. Also a proud part of the community, the University of Evansville. This is scenic Mid-America at its very best. And today, it's the scene of the world's fastest race boats. Unlimited hydroplane action. The APBA Gold Cup will get underway in just a moment.
Jim Hendrick and Dick Crippen here on the Ohio River at Evansville, Indiana, Gold Cup 1988. Dick, we're all set for the start of Heat 1A.
Tom Deeth will be aboard the Miss Budweiser. In the Oh Boy Alberto, it's George Woods Jr., the national high points leader. Holson Miss Madison, Ron Snyder will be driving the veteran boat. U8, Mr. Pringles is Scotty Pierce. And the U10, competition specialties, Larry Lauterbach, followed by the U00, Miller High Life, the defending Gold Cup champ, Chip Hanauer.
6 boats are set to start. I believe Oh Boy Alberto has just collided with the Miller as they come down to the start gate.
In lane number 1, it is Mr. Pringles, competition specialty, Larry Lauterbach. In lane number 2, Tommy Deeth. In the Miss Budweiser, lane 3, Holson Miss Madison bouncing on the outside. Ron Snyder driving that boat in lane number 4. 3 turbines take the lead, and there is the start. Budweiser on the outside. Nice boat to watch. Competition specialty, closing him on the inside. Both of them passing up. Mr. Pringles putting Pringles back in 3rd place.
As they come to the apex and come off of exit number 2. It looks as though competition specialties has a slight edge. But here comes Budweiser on the outside. Takes a slight edge coming down the back chute.
Tommy Deeth pushing hard now. Manages to get a boat length on the 2nd place boat. Larry Lauterbach in the competition specialties. These 2 drivers have driven the smaller boats together many, many times. They know each other well. Budweiser now taking command.
Miss Budweiser now takes the apex of corners 3 and 4, comes down to lap number 1. A little wild.
There you can see the arm of the flag man. He's waving the yellow flag on the course now to caution all drivers that the Miller High Life is dead on the water right now, and he's on the course. Tommy Deeth, Miss Budweiser in command. He had a little disappointing start in the boat in Detroit, but now he seems to have command of it. It's operating flawlessly. I know he's got to be smiling as his owner, Bernie Little, down in the pits. There's the disappointing story of the race. Miller High Life dead in the water. Chip Hanauer with a great seat, but that's about it.
3rd place here is Mr. Pringles with Scott Pierce, who had an accident in Miami, and he's getting that boat and himself back in shape in racing form.
Scotty Pierce doing a fine job. He's in the points race right now, and he'd like nothing better than that Gold Cup under his belt also. Well, he's got a shot at it today. Here's the Holson Miss Madison, the veteran driver with the veteran boat. Ron Snyder aboard that boat that's community-owned out of Madison, Indiana. There's the Budweiser lapping the Holson Miss Madison.
Well, he's had speeds of 133.3, lap 134.2, 130.2. 120, 124. He's slowing it down now as he knows he's got the lead. He's not going to wreck his equipment.
He wants to hold that equipment in there because Tommy Deeth knows what it's like to win the Gold Cup. He did it in Detroit back in the mid-70s. He'd like to do it again here in Evansville, Indiana. Look at how light the boat gets, though, as he comes out of the turns. Tommy Deeth in the Miss Budweiser. 2nd place still is competition specialties with Mr. Pringles riding in 3rd. Miss Madison is 4th. Here's your winner, Tommy Deeth, his first step toward the Gold Cup in 1988.
And Tommy Deeth averaged 126.2 for this heat. And here's 2nd place, Larry Lauterbach. Going slow, there's a report from the course. There is some damage to that boat. He took a dive in lap number 1 down the back chute. 3rd place will go to Mr. Pringles, Scott Pierce.
Now, I know Scott Pierce has got to be happy, but I don't think anybody's happier than this crew that you're looking at right now. Jim Hendrick is on the dock with the winner, Tom Deeth.
You got a good lead on that start.
Well, the guys are really mixing it up there, and I knew it was going to be pretty tight with 6 boats, and they were awful early, so I just, picked a hole and went for it. I was a little bit early. I had to back out of it just a skosh, but then I saw it was time to go, and I left.
Bernie, you have to be real happy.
Oh, I am. Tom did a Herculean job, as I knew he would, and Miss Budweiser and Tom Deeth will be in the winner's circle.
Well, it's going to be a long day.
It sure is.
Our congratulations to the Miss Budweiser crew. 400 points after Heat 1A. Competition specialties with 300. Mr. Pringles at 225 points. And the Holson Miss Madison with 169 points.
The Miller High Life we have a report has a hole punched in the boat. He's still in the water. Let's find out what happened between him and George Woods in the Oh Boy Oberto.
Okay, George, it doesn't look the same as when it went out.
No, I'm afraid not, Dick. We were coming around the corner down there scoring up. I was in about lane 5. It looked like my lane was going to kind of go away before the start, so I looked over my shoulder and I didn't see Chip there, and I slid over a couple lanes trying to find some clear water, and Chip was coming up from behind, and I tapped him right there in the corner a little bit and got the left front sponson, and I don't know how Chip's boat is. We hit not real hard, but solid enough to break some parts on our boat, and you know, just a miscalculated error on my part.
There's a lot more exciting action of Gold Cup 1988 coming up after this timeout. A warm day here at Evansville, Indiana. On the Ohio River, we're about to start Heat 1B of action.
Let's take a look at the starting lineup in the Arc Construction boat. The U4, Stephen David will be driving. U7, the Paddock Pools boat, is Jerry Hoff. Mistro Light, the automotive-powered boat, driven by Todd Yarling. The Miss Circus Circus is John Prevost out of Louisiana. And the U66 Sutphen Spirit, Michael Hansen, the driver.
As they come down now, we're under the 1-minute gun. Steve David, the rookie, takes the Arc Construction on the buoy line in lane number 1. John Prevost in the Circus Circus is in lane 2. Sutphen Spirit with Mike Hansen, lane 3. Strollite is dead up in the upper turn. Paddock Pools is trailing as they come down to start Heat 1B.
And it's a perfect start for Arc Construction. That is the boat driven by Stephen David, the rookie out of Miami, Florida. They head to turn 1. There you can see Strollite to the left of your screen, but look at the two turbine boats. Circus Circus on the inside and the Sutphen Spirit on the outside. They are side by side as they go to turn number 1.
And they take over the lead with Circus Circus in lane 2 out in front. On his hip is Mike Hansen in the Sutphen Spirit. A couple of turbines as they shake it loose off of corner number 2, side by side coming down the back chute.
This is great unlimited hydroplane racing, turbines side by side. There you can see Johnny Prevost of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He takes the pink Circus Circus into the lead, but just a couple of boat lengths over the second place boat. Hansen is coming up, and there he is. Mike Hansen on the outside. He starts to take the lead as they come around turns 3 and 4. Hansen really piling it on, manages to nose out Circus Circus out of turn number 4.
And now it's a drag race down to complete. Left number 1 at around 125 miles an hour, side by side. Looks like almost a dead heat, but a slight edge to second.
These two guys have driven side by side many times in 7-liter hydroplanes. Look at Hansen on the outside, gets a little bit loose in the Sutphen Spirit. There you see the Strollite, the automotive-powered boat, Todd Yarling, driver. He's got a good seat, but as we say, that's about it. He's sitting there watching. Circus Circus right now, the story of this race along with the Sutphen Spirit. That's Johnny Prevost in that cabin. Here's Arc Construction riding in third place, the rookie driver driving for Jim McCormick, a former Gold Cup winner out of Owensboro, Kentucky. And this is the story. These two boats tying it up, two turbine-powered boats, just about neck and neck all the way around.
Give a slight edge to Circus Circus with John Prevost in lane number 1 as he hangs it on the hook. On the outside on his hip is Michael Hansen in the Sutphen Spirit, and it's going to be a drag race here on this last lap as they hit through some rough water coming off of corner number 2 and down the back chute.
They really have Circus Circus glued on the water right now. They've got to be feeling good about the way that boat is operating. Johnny Prevost took a little time in Detroit to get used to the boat. He tried to qualify it, couldn't really get it up to qualifying speed, but boy, once they got into it here at Evansville, they had 143, and did you see him lift his sponson? But they are side by side coming down. Sutphen Spirit, the white boat on the outside, is now just slightly in the lead. Here comes the checkered flag, side by side. Circus Circus on the inside tries to catch him, but Mike Hansen takes the win in Heat 1B in the Sutphen Spirit.
What an exciting first heat side by side. Neither driver giving an inch, and it was a drag race off of corner number 4. Third place, Steve David in the Arc Construction reciprocal powered boat. Over 100,000 enjoying heats 1A and 1B so far. Let's go down to the Happy Winner Circle.
Okay, Mike, I got to congratulate you. You know how to put an exciting race on.
Well, that's the idea. This is a show and it's a race. We gave them both.
You certainly did. It looked like you were even Steven almost all the way around speed-wise with the Circus Circus. The only difference was you were on the outside, he was on the inside.
Yeah, we had a little bit more top end on him, but it was kind of iffy if I could use it. The water was real rough going in that first turn. The boat would start to kite. But we had top end on him. He got us a little bit out of the corner, but I think that's because he had lane one.
Well, it was kind of interesting because each lap you came around side by side out of the turn, he pulled you a little bit coming down to the start line. You always got him right after the start-finish line, and I was wondering how that would play out, but he actually kind of hooked coming out of turn four.
Well, I noticed that we were coming up on some boats, and they were on the inside lane. So my idea was to keep him in lane 1 or 2 and let him run in the rough water and me stay out in the clean, and it paid off in the long run.
It paid off with 400 points at Heat 1B for the Sutton Spirit, 300 to the second place Circus Circus, Art Construction third, Paddock Schools overall fourth. We'll have more action from the HFC American Hydroplane Series from Evansville, Indiana in just a moment. Jim Hendrick and Dick Crippen, Gold Cup 88 here in Evansville, Indiana, as the Circus Circus leads the field of 5 out onto the course.
This is going to be Heat 2A, and in this heat, oh boy, Alberto, George Woods Jr. driving the boat, Art Construction, the rookie driver, Stephen David out of Miami, Florida. Paddock Pools with Jerry Hopp aboard. Also in the field, the Miss Circus Circus with John Prevost out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Rounding it out, the U-66 Sutphin Spirit, Mike Hansen. Those two boats put on quite a battle earlier, the Circus Circus and the Sutphin Spirit.
It looks like oh boy, Alberto wants lane number 1. Circus Circus is in lane 2. Steve David in the Art Construction lane 3, and on the outside, the Sutphin Spirit as they come down to the start. All 5 boats with their rooster tails flying.
And the biggest rooster tail is from the front boat. That's Circus Circus, the pink boat. The driver from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Johnny Prevost, took no chance at all. He got himself just about a perfect start, but watch on the outside of the rooster tail. George Woods in the oh boy, Alberto is closing fast. Now that's a reciprocal engine, so that's not an expected race at this point, Jim.
But he's going to get one anyway, Dick Crippen, as he comes on the outside and pulls even, and now slightly ahead of Circus Circus. We have a drag race down the back chute.
So oh boy, Alberto is on the outside. The boat painted in the colors of the Italian flag for Art Alberto. Circus Circus pulls him a little bit coming out of the corner, and now Circus Circus has the lead again, but George Woods is giving him no quarter at all. He's holding his boat right in there, just a couple of boat lengths off the leader. And it looks like Sutphin Spirit is coming up on the outside. Sutphin Spirit in lane number 3, and here he comes.
No more dive.
as he comes out into the rooster tail. Circus Circus in there. What? Oh my goodness, Mike Hansen up and over him in the Sutphin Spirit. Sutphin Spirit continues on. Circus Circus dying in the water right now. Johnny Prevost apparently okay in that boat. We got to check what happened on that one. Here's your leader right now, Old Boy Alberto.
Sutphin Spirit just did a piggyback ride right over this pink Circus Circus, wiped out part of the tail and part of the cowling, and he's steaming. He's out of this heat.
So Johnny Prevost sits in the water in Circus Circus. He has radioed his crew that he is all right. We'll check into what happened out there, but here's your leader right now, Old Boy Alberto, George Woods, who really has got that boat running hard, especially after he had that little mishap with the Miller High Life in the first heat.
A fast repair, a fine crew for Old Boy Alberto. Here is your number 2 place boat right now in this heat, Sutphin Spirit, Michael Hansen, as we go back to the leader, coming around for the last time.
Well, we're going to have to watch closely because Sutphin Spirit really has some good power. Here's a boat with no power at all, and you can see the red flag is out on the course. Red flag, and that's going to signal off George Woods and the Old Boy Alberto. They have deemed it necessary to get the crews over to the Circus Circus. They do not want the race continuing while medical crews and the rescue crews in general are getting over there. Here's your winner. He will be proclaimed the winner. They were over halfway through the race. George Woods in the Old Boy Alberto as they start in on Circus Circus and find out what happened.
Well, here's results in a 3-lap heat that they have called official. Old Boy Alberto first, Sutphin Spirit second, Art Construction, followed by Pat.
Miss Budweiser, Tommy DeEath will be driving that boat. Also Miss Madison with Ron Snyder on board. The Mr. Pringles, the U-8 boat, Scott Pierce. Also in the field, the Mistro Light, the automotive-powered boat with Todd Yarling, the driver. And the Miller High Life gets back in action with Chip Hanauer, the defending Gold Cup champion.
But he's not answering the bell for this one. We're down to a 4-boat heat. Miss Budweiser, lane 1. Mr. Pringles, lane 2. Miss Joe Light, lane 3. And the whole set, Miss Madison on the outside as they come down to you in corner number 1.
Corner number 1 sees the Miss Budweiser in the lead. Tommy DeEath and it's Pringles in second place. Mr. Pringles with Scott Pierce in control of that boat, and he is really trying hard to catch him coming out of corner number 2. The story of this race right now, the 2 turbine boats, but the real story, the boat in the lead, the red and white beer wagon, Miss Budweiser. Tommy DeEath driving. Scott Pierce in second place in the Mr. Pringles.
The boats seem to be riding down the back chute a lot better because they're going with the wind, but when they come off of corner number 4, they tend to get a little light. Watch the Miss Budweiser with Tommy DeEath as he comes around the complete lap number 1, and as he does so, is very near the course record. He's 138.0, the course record with Jim Cropfeld last year in this same boat, 138.1.
Here's the Mistro Light, and this is quite a story. This is the automotive-powered boat that is driven by Todd Yarling. As you can see, they're in a battle right now with the Hulset Miss Madison. Ron Snyder, the veteran driver, on board with that boat.
Hulset Miss Madison on the left. On the right is the Mistro Light with Todd Yarling. Todd Yarling lives in Madison, Indiana. The boat he's battling is from his hometown. As they go into corner number 1, through the apex, battling for 3rd position. Here's our leader, Miss Budweiser, driven by Tommy DeEath from Fairhaven, Michigan.
And we talked about the lightness of this boat. In actuality, they want to tiptoe back and forth between the sponsons, but they've got to really keep their eye on the attitude of the boat. That's why a lot of times we tend to call these drivers pilots. They literally are flying a wing across the water. Second place, Mr. Pringles, Scott Pierce, the battle for 3rd right now. And Todd Yarling went inside. He missed the buoy, and he goes to turn the boat and spins it. Todd Yarling has spun out. He's killed the engine. He's sitting on the infield. He won't be a danger to the rest of the race. But what a disappointment, I know, for Todd Yarling. But a little bit of happiness, I'm sure, for the Hulset Miss Madison, Ron Snyder. He is being passed up and lapped by the lead boat, the Miss Budweiser. But the Hulset Miss Madison right now holding in 3rd place.
Tommy DeEath, driving Miss Budweiser, has taken the seat since the injury to Jim Cropfeld, our driver analyst for this particular race. And he is doing very well today as he comes off of corner number 4 to pick up 400 points and a perfect day so far for Bernie Little's racing team.
As they look ahead to the Gold Cup, Miss Budweiser now collecting a total of 800 points on the day, winning the 2 heats that he has been involved in. Tom DeEath coming across for the checkered flag, averaging about 129.104 miles per hour. A good run for the Miss Budweiser. Second place goes to Mr. Pringles, Scott Pierce, and 3rd in the Hulset Miss Madison, Ron Snyder. Here are the points that they accumulated in Heat 2B. Miss Budweiser, actually with 2 heat wins today, has a total for 800. What's missing here, Miller High Life. That boat may be out for the day. We'll check on it. Here's a boat under repair, the Sutphin Spirit. Let's go down and get the story from Jim Hendrick.
Michael Hansen with the water. We could not exactly see what happened on the back chute. You describe it. Did you not, or did you hit the Circus Circus?
Yeah, we did collide. It wasn't actually on the straightaway. It was coming through the second turn down there. All of a sudden, he came through the Oberto tail about, maybe 2 boat lengths ahead of me, and I just turned left as hard as I could and turned the thing sideways and went over the back end of his boat.
What about the damage to your boat? Anything?
Oh, we punched a hole in the non-trip, and we dinged our prop up and tore some sponsons up, but we're trying to fix it up for the next heat.
And the good news is both drivers are okay. Here's the Circus Circus boat as we... What in the world's going on here? The Miller High Life wings going on the Circus Circus boat. Some changes in the pits. Let's go to Jim Hendrick.
Dick, down here in the eastern half of the pits, we're getting the word of a driver change. Mel Larson of Circus Circus, are you changing drivers?
That's correct. Chip's boat is now...
Afternoon. Miles over there, she's ready to hand it out to somebody. $8 is right there, ready to go. 5:50 until the start. 5 minutes and 50 seconds.
And they are pulling away from the docks. You've got the 21, the 1, and the 11. You've got all 4 boats. They're headed your way, Brad.
All right, thank you, Paul Doogie. Here we go. We've seen some cutting across the race course. We've seen some activity during the milling period. I fully suspect you're going to see a lot more of it now. Because this time, there's more boats. The big trophy's on the line. Time to go racing. And I got definitely 4 rooster tails. But I'm not going to try and pick them out of that late afternoon sun. On what is a gorgeous setting here on Lake Guntersville in Guntersville, Alabama. That's Jimmy Shane. I can see the powder blue.
enemy cruiser.
So we've lost the local favorite here, but maybe when the boats come by, if it's your favorite one, maybe put your hands in the air and clap for them. Let's see who Guntersville wants to win the inaugural race for the Southern Cup. See that? I thought that was Jay Shane, and it's not Jay Shane. That is Brian Perkins, driving the 21. Perkins, the young man out of North Bend, Washington. Here comes Jimmy.
He may be pulling right up alongside you. You can cat and mouse him right here if you want. He's going fast behind you.
Here comes Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate, our top qualifier at 158 miles an hour. He's had a perfect weekend. Top qualifier, 3 heat wins. Tom Thompson out of Cambridge, Maryland. Driving for Scotch.
How fast is he going, Nick? He's one tail behind you. He's up a little, one tail behind you. You might try and shake you and speed up though.
Just give me boat length. Jimmy Shane. Now Jimmy Shane's coming up with some authority. Is that Tate on the outside of him? Watch for a little game of cat and mouse. That is Andrew Tate right outside Jimmy Shane. Keep an eye on those two. You got Perkins at the top end of the race course. You've got Thompson at the bottom end of the race course. And just see if maybe Andrew doesn't want to come across here and therefore take an inside position on Shane. Nope, they're both going to go all the way up. 325, still around.
Why don't you just keep going slow and come down here and go through the infield like we normally do. It's going to put you pretty close to where you want to be. These guys will have to go around again.
Look at Jay Shane, put that thing right in lane 1, Jimmy Shane. And now he's going to come down here. His radio guy down here is saying right in your right side rear mirror, that is Andrew Tate.
Had a boat come across the race course there. That was Tom Thompson. So it's Shane, Tate, and Thompson all going down to the lower corner. Up the backstretch, all by himself, Brian Perkins. 2 minutes and 45 seconds, 2:45 to the start. It's the 2018 Lake Guntersville Hydrofest. It is the race for the Southern Cup, and it is the final heat. All right, so here comes Perkins. He's going to come across the race course here at 2:30. He'll come across. He'll head down to the lower end of the race course. Still going to have to scruff off a little time.
Andrew's going to try and cut underneath if you go down into the corner. You might want to go deep and cut.
Go all the way up there. How about Jay Shane? He's going to do it too.
Andrew's way back. He's trying to slow and cut.
Now Jimmy's in the corner. One more buoy to go.
Let's just keep an eye on him. Would he cut now?
I'm going to let him go.
158. Let's go. Pick it up. We got to block Andrew here. He's going to try and cut.
Have Shane there. He might cut now, but if he does, he'll come in behind Jimmy. That's what he's going to do. Watch Tate. He's coming across the race course right now, and Shane's going to be in front of him. So Tate is going to pull in behind, and now here comes Perkins. He's going to come across the course. 1:35 until our start. They're in good position on the race course, and right now, well, let's see who's who and who's where. Looks like Tom Thompson is sitting in lane number 1. Then it looks like Shane is in 2, Tate is in 3, and on the outside going down the front straightaway is Brian Perkins. 1:15 until the start. 1:15, remember, we go 5 times around this time. All right, we come off the corner. Tom Thompson still sitting in lane number 1, coming up on the 1 minute mark. 1 minute, 1 minute. Tough to see from here, but I think we've got it right. I think it is Tom Thompson in 1, it is Jimmy Shane in 2, it is Andrew Tate.
Be tight. I think Andrew's looking for a lane. Be tight. Stay real tight.
That boat that's out front now is the 21 with Brian Perkins, and the last boat going up there is Andrew Tate. 35 seconds till the start. It's going to be interesting to see where Tate winds up in his start sequence. He was in lane 3, but I'm not sure if Perkins moved over on him. We'll call him as they come out of the sun. Still 20 seconds until the start. There's Thompson in 1. There is Shane. Is that Shane in 2? It's Shane in 2. It's Tate in 3. It's Perkins in 4. We are 10 seconds until the start. Gotta have the timing marks. 6, 5, 4, 2, 1. mark, and it's going to be Brian Perkins who's going to bring him across. Perkins is going to bring him across. It was Tom Thompson on the inside, but he trailed the field to the corner. Inside position belongs to Tate.
Fight him. Let's go. Get out of there. You got this. Watch your light.
There he is, Jimmy Shane. And you can see off to the right side of him there, you got Andrew Tate with him. You can't see him, but he is there. There are 2 boats out front.
Give him a little check here. Let's go. 2 boat lengths. Fight him. Fight him.
5 times around this 2.5-mile race course. Jimmy Shane, great boat ride. You haven't seen Andrew Tate.
21, jump the gun. 21, jump the gun.
He is right there with Jimmy. There he is.
Get even. Let's go. Fight him. Watch light.
Here we go. This is
The light. Keep it on the water.
time to decide a winner. They'll come down and put the first of 5. Tate, Shane, get even.
Stay on him. Stay with him. You got him.
Leave him 1 lane in there.
They are dead even to the lower corner. Perkins is now trailing Tom Thompson. Now down to the lower end of the race course on the second of 5 times around. And there is Andrew. Andrew's now got a boat length as they come off the exit pin. He is driven around Jimmy Shane. Now Shane's got to try and run him down on the inside, but there's a lot of speed in that Delta Real Track U9. Jeff Campbell's got a rocket ship going right there. This upper corner is going to be really interesting. Now remember, Tate does not have enough lead on him to move to the inside lane and chop off Jimmy. He's got to give him a lane. Make sure there's space.
Tighten it up a little bit. 1 lane.
We're going to go down and put lap number 2 in the books. It is Andrew Tate coming from the outside. Got a lot of air underneath that race boat. He is really moving. And Shane is right there on the end.
Down before you turn the wheel. Settle it down before you turn the wheel.
Down. He's got to make sure he sets that sponson on the water before they get to the turn. Tate down there first. Shane with him. But it's about a 3-boat length lead right now for Andrew Tate. Thompson is now in 3rd place. Brian Perkins is running in 4. We are 2.5 laps in. 2.5 laps to go up the backstretch. Andrew Tate. I wouldn't have thought he would have been able to drive around Jimmy Shane, but so far he's been able to do it. Shane will still be able to run on the inside, and Tate's got to give him a lane. He gave him plenty of lane space last time. They'll come off the corner this time and come down and put 3 in the books, and Shane really took a hop. Shane took a big hop there. You saw the boat come out of the water. The skid fin just about came unhooked. Andrew Tate, he's building on it a little bit, but here comes Tate. 3 up, 3 down, 2 to go. These guys are going to go at it all summer long. This is what their summer weekends look like. Lap number 4. Look at Shane, hang right with him. Home Street Bank on the inside.
You're gaining on him. Let's go, buddy. Run him down.
Now look at, Shane's getting some air into the boat. Got to be careful. He puts too much air in there and have to pull his foot, and then he'll find out Tater is gone. They are running into a pretty stiff breeze up there right now, but Tate has...
Coming hard. Keep after it. Keep after it. The 1 lane. Coming hard.
We're going to come down here and complete lap number...
Let's go. Get through here. You're going to get him right now. Let's go.
Closes up a little bit there on the inside. Got to leave him room, Andrew. Certainly does. Certainly does. Andrew said if he hooked up with him, he'd be sure and leave him enough room. He did. White flag flies. 1 to go in the Southern Cup. It is Andrew Tate. He's led it from the completion of lap number 1. All right, this is going to be a heck of a corner and a run down the backstretch. I know we got boats on the course in other places, but watch this. If Shane is going to pull this off, he's got to do it now. And he pulled up to within 2 boat lengths. This is as good as it gets in H1 Unlimited Racing. You got Tate on the outside, Shane on the inside. Now it's pure acceleration off the corner. Tate seems to have it. Tate opens up about 3 or 4 boat lengths on him. This upper corner is going to determine the final winner of the Southern Cup here on Lake Guntersville. It is Andrew Tate out by about 4 or 5 boat lengths. Shane's got to have a good corner up here. Inside lane's got to pay some dividends, right? Look at Shane pull up with him. They're going to come off about a boat length or 2 between the 2. Here is the race for the 2018 Southern Cup.
Come on, fight it. You got him. Fight, baby. Fight.
Come on, come on, come on, come on.
It is going to be Andrew Tate.
Okay, good job, good job. Checker flag, checker flag, checker flag. Great. It's on the boat wing. Good job.
Jimmy Shane. Wow. I have been watching Unlimited